So in the last few episodes, what we were actually doing is creating a CRUD for our Vue.js application. And CRUD means create, read, update and delete. So as of right now, we can create a new movie, so that's the C in CRUD. We can read the movies, so if I click on Star Wars, I will go to that page and see that movie, so that's the read part. And we can of course delete a movie. If we click delete, we would delete that movie. And the only letter that is left is the U. So the U means update. So in this video we are going to learn how to update our movies. So we are going to have a edit button right here, and when we click on it we would be able to change the title and the body of that movie. So let's get started. I intentionally left updating our movies for last because we have to use all the knowledge that we have from creating a movie, deleting a movie and displaying a movie on our page to actually update a movie. So let's think about the process right here. So what we would need to do is first, so we would have a button, and when we click that button we have to get the movie. So we have to get that movie first. So that's a first step in making an update. We have to get that movie and then we have to display the data for that movie. So you would have a form or something like that, and that form would already have to be filled out with the data. It doesn't have to be, but it would be nice if it is. So if you have a title form, you would already have a title of that movie in that input field. And then for the third and final step, we have to update the movie. So as you can see, we already did all of these. So even when we were deleting a movie, we were getting the ID of that movie and deleting it. We displayed the data while we were creating the read part of the CRUD. And then we have to update it, which is very similar to actually creating a movie. So you would just use another HTTP request to do that. So these are our three steps that we have to do now, and then we are going to be able to update our movies. So first of all, let's just go to our index.html file, and I'm going to go to this movie list, and at the bottom we have this button for deleting a movie, and now I'm just going to add an A tag in it with a class of btn and class of btn primary, and that should be it. I'm going to leave this href for now as it is, and we're going to call that button edit movie. And that's it. So let's just take a look at our page right now. Okay, we now have edit button movie. Okay, next thing we need to do is we are going to create a template for editing our movie. And as you can imagine, that template will actually be very similar to the template for creating a movie, because we would have all those fields to fill out. So movie title and movie body. So I'm just going to copy, create movie template, paste it down here, and call it edit movie. Edit movie. The title is going to be edit movie. And then we are going to delete this right here. On submit, we are not going to be creating a movie. I'm just going to delete this for now, but we are actually going to be editing a movie. Also, this vmodel title we don't need, and we don't need this vmodel body, and you will see in just a minute why. And then we would have this button of add movie, but it's not going to be add movie, it's going to be update movie. Okay, so this is our template. We save it, and then we can go to our app.js and create our component. So the component that we are going to go to when we click edit movie. So let's create that. Edit movie equals view.extend, and then of course we have to define a template for it, and that template is edit movie. Okay, and then we would define data for this, because we already know that we are going to be receiving a title, we are going to be receiving body, and we are actually going to be receiving a movie, because we have to pull the data from the movie in our edit component, so that we can display the title and that we can display the body of that movie. So I'm just going to do data function, and then we will return that data, and then we would have to define it. So we are going to be receiving movie, and we are going to be receiving a title, and for the last we are going to be receiving body. Okay, so that's the data that we should receive, and the next thing is actually we have to create a ready function. Why? Because when we click on that edit movie, we are going to get the movie by ID, which we already did in the episode when we looked at the single movie. So we are going to get that movie by ID, and then we are automatically going to display it. So I'm just going to do ready function, and we are going to call this method that we are going to be calling get the movie. So this dot get the movie, and that's it. Okay, so next we are going to have to create our methods, but before we do that, I'm just going to set up our routes. So as you can imagine, just like with deleting a movie, edit a movie is going to be a named route. So I'm just gonna copy this, and it's going to be edit and movie ID, because we have to know the movie ID so that we can edit it. So, and the name of that route is going to be edit also, and we are calling component edit movie. Okay, and I think we are all set up right now. Let's just take a look at our application. Refresh this. Okay, if we click edit movie, something is wrong, because this actually doesn't lead anywhere, because we didn't tell it to lead anywhere. So I'm going to go to my index.html file, and right below this delete button, so in the movie template, so we have this right here. So instead this href for edit the movie, we would of course do vlink equals, and I'm just going to copy this, so it's the same thing as for deleting a movie, except the named route is not delete but it's edit. Okay, save it now. Let's refresh the page, and if we click edit movie, we get to the edit movie component. Of course we don't have any data in here yet because we didn't set it up. We are going to do that in just a second. To set up our data, we just go to this single movie component that we made, and we can just get this, actually all the methods, and go up, and then just paste that in, because we are actually doing the same method as we did when we were doing the single movie. So we just do this get the movie for ready function, and get the movie is going to use view resource and make a get request to our API URL and this parameter that we defined right here. So we are going to get the movie that we click on. So we already did that a couple of times. I'm not going to go into any details about this. We can save this and then we go to our index.html file. Go down here and now we have to actually set up our data so that we can see the movie title here and movie body right here. So what we are going to do is we're going to wrap all of this into a div, and on that div I'm just going to do v4 equals movie item in movies. Okay, and now we can just do value right here. So value is going to be the title of our movie, just as we did for the single movie. So if we go to single movie template, we can just copy these two fields out, go down here, I'm just going to paste them in, and so this is our movie title. We can paste the value of it right here, and for the movie body I'm just going to copy this and paste that in right here, and I'm just going to remove these curly braces because we actually want to get the HTML of that movie, and I'm going to just delete this. Now if we go, I think this is okay, if we go to our movie and refresh it, something went wrong. Of course, this I screwed up this right here, so it's not movie item in movies but in movie. So if we refresh the page right now, we get a new movie and we get the titles, the body of that movie. So if we go back and let's say Star Wars, click edit movie, now we get also this HTML that we have in it with a tags and so on. So you can write HTML right here, you get the movie title, and that's it. Okay, so now that we got that set up, the next thing we need to do, we actually have to make our update movie method. So let's create our method and we're going to call it update the movie. And we do just function event. So we are going to be receiving an event from it. And if you think about it, updating the movie is very similar to creating a movie. So what we need to do, we just go to this create movie and copy everything from create movie method. So I'm just going to copy all of this, go up, and we just paste it in right here. So we are preventing the default value. Then we are setting up our data, and our data is going to be title and body. And we have to go right here and do vModel so that we can get that data equals title. And we have to do vModel equals body. Okay, save it. And so we got our data set up, and then we have to do a request to our Drupal API. So I'm just going to delete all of this because when we click update button, I want to go back to our movie list. So we can just copy that out from the delete method. So when we update a movie, we will automatically go back to the movie list. And we have to change our URL. So the URL is not going to be movies API dev entity node, but it's going to be movies API node and then the node ID. So the node ID is going to be this one right here. This is going to be the node ID. We're going to pass it some data, get a response from it, and then go back to that page, to the movie list page, actually movie list component. So the next thing we need to do, we can't use this post method to do that. So to update a movie, we have to use patch method. Okay, so we got that set up. And one last thing we need to do, as you can see, I'm not defining any headers right here like we did for this delete movie method. And we are not doing it right here because we are getting the movie. And if we defined it, whenever we use this HTTP, it's going to use those headers, and then the Drupal will throw an error, and we wouldn't be able to get the movies. But when we are updating the movie, we have to send headers to Drupal. So we are going to define those headers right here. So not globally for all of this component, but just for this method. And I'm just going to copy this. So you just do headers and just paste that in right here. Okay, so now we got our headers set up. We can save this, and then we just have to go to our index.html and define our form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, on submitting this form, you have to hit this method and update the movie. So we do v on submit equals update the movie. And that should be it, except it isn't, but you will see. Okay, so if we go to new movie right now, edit that movie, we can click edit that. We can just do something in the title, so new movie updated. Okay, and now if I click update movie, we actually didn't do something right here. Let me just see, because it didn't prevent the default action for some reason. So let me see what I did wrong right here. So we are updating the movie. Function is event prevent the default. Let me try to refresh this page just for a second. Okay, let's see now. Updated. Update movie. Okay. Now if you look at our console, we get failed to load the resource. The service responded with the status method not allowed, and we have this CORS access control or origin problem right here. That we did, I think, in episode. If we go right here, browse all videos, and we can see, let me just see, so enable CORS for Drupal 8. So check out this video to see what I'm talking about right here. And because of the plugin that we installed in this video, this is throwing an error right here. So Drupal isn't allowing us to update that movie for security reasons. Of course, if you got your local machine set up so that you have maybe localhost movies API for Drupal and localhost movies app for this Vue.js application, you probably won't get this problem. But I'm getting it because my movies app.dev is a separate domain from movies API.dev, and then I'm getting this problem. But we're going to take care of it in just a second. So right now we are in our Drupal installation, and if you go right here to modules, and then you would have this course Drupal 8 if you followed the video number 3. So we have course Drupal 8, and let me just see right here. So in the source right here, so stack options request, you get these allowed methods, and as you can see we have delete, get, post and put, but we don't have a patch method, and that's why the Drupal is throwing us an error, because we don't have a patch method allowed. So we just do this right here, and that's it. We save this, and now our application will be allowed to update the movie. So let's try to refresh our edit component right now, and we will do new movie updated again and update this movie. And as you can see, we are back on our movie list page, and the new movie updated is right here. So we can go again right here, we can remove all this text and add a lot of text to it, update the movie, we go back. If we check out this movie, we get all that text and everything works. So we created a CRUD system in our Vue.js application, and now we can create movies, delete movies, edit movies and so on. So, but as you can see, anyone that comes to this page could potentially do this. So in the next few episodes we are actually going to be dealing with registering our users, actually creating new users, logging in those users, and then allowing logged in users to do all this. Not everyone that comes to our site, because as you saw in these examples right here, we were hard coding our password, and we were actually doing all the things as an administrator would. So you don't want to allow that on your site. So in the next few episodes we are going to be doing logins, registrations and so on. Okay, so this is it for this episode. Please like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Twitter or on Facebook, and remember, all the code that we did right here will be available for you on GitHub. The link will be in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.